You've been living with a hidden power all this time and never knew it. Most people think being quiet means being weak. They're wrong. Dead wrong. What if I told you that the very qualities society mocks in introverts are actually psychological weapons when used correctly? The silence, the observation skills, the tendency to think before speaking, these aren't weaknesses. They're untapped power. Today, I'm exposing the dark truth about introversion that no one talks about, 7 psychological mindset shifts that transform quiet people into the most formidable forces in any room. Mindset number 1, silence as a weapon. Most people can't stand silence. It makes them uncomfortable, anxious even. That pause in conversation feels like an eternity, and they'll say almost anything to fill it, often revealing information they never intended to share. This is where introverts gain their first psychological advantage. When you're comfortable with silence, you control the conversation's pace. While others rush to fill the void, you remain calm, observing as they expose insecurities, intentions, and secrets. Mindset number 2, rejection as power. Let's be honest, rejection stings. And for introverts who already find social interaction draining, that sting cuts deeper. But here's the psychological shift that changes everything. Rejection isn't failure. It's a filter that separates you from the ordinary. Every no you receive is proof you're pushing boundaries others won't dare approach. Every rejection is evidence you're not living by other people's limitations. The world's most influential people have all faced massive rejection. Stephen King's first novel was rejected 30 times. Walt Disney was fired from a newspaper for lacking imagination. J.K. Rowling was turned down by 12 publishers before Harry Potter was accepted. What separated them wasn't talent alone, it was their psychological response to rejection. Mindset number 3, the observer advantage. While extroverts are busy being seen, introverts are busy seeing. This subtle difference creates an information asymmetry that gives quiet observers a massive psychological edge. Consider this. In any given social situation, most people are focused on how they're being perceived. They're wondering if they sound smart, if people like them, if they're making a good impression. But the introvert who embraces their natural observational tendencies, they're cataloging subtle body language cues. They're noticing who defers to whom. They're spotting inconsistencies between what people say and what their non-verbal cues reveal. This is essentially low-level mind reading. Studies show that just 7% of communication is the actual word spoken. The rest is tone, facial expressions, posture, and other nonverbal signals, signals that go completely unnoticed by people focused on themselves. Mindset number 4, selective presence. There's a psychological principle called scarcity value that marketers have used for decades. Things that are hard to get are perceived as more valuable than things that are always available. The same applies to your presence. Most people make themselves constantly available, always answering texts immediately, accepting every invitation, being the first to volunteer. They think this makes them valuable, but psychologically, it does the opposite. When you're always available, people take you for granted. Your time, your attention, your presence, all become commodities rather than privileges. This is where introverts can flip the script. Mindset number 5, dark confidence. There's regular confidence, and then there's what I call dark confidence, the quiet, unshakable self-assurance that doesn't need external validation. Most people's confidence is fragile. It depends on constant feedback, compliments, and reassurance from others. One criticism can shatter it completely. But dark confidence operates differently. It's internally generated and impervious to outside opinion. This type of confidence doesn't announce itself. It doesn't need to. It's evident in how you carry yourself, how you remain unfazed by criticism, how you don't feel compelled to explain your decisions to others. Mindset number 6, transmuting pain into power. Everyone faces pain, rejection, and isolation. But introverts often experience these more intensely due to their deeper processing of emotions. The psychological difference between those who remain victims and those who become powerful is simple: what they do with that pain. Pain can either break you or forge you into something stronger. Mindset number 7, the unpredictability factor. Humans are pattern recognition machines. We feel comfortable when people behave consistently because it makes them predictable and therefore controllable. This is why breaking patterns creates such a powerful psychological effect. When someone is completely predictable, they're easy to manipulate, easy to take for granted, and easy to ignore. But when someone occasionally defies expectations in calculated ways, they command attention. For introverts who are typically seen as predictable, strategic unpredictability becomes a superpower. This doesn't mean becoming erratic or unreliable. It means occasionally breaking your established patterns in ways that keep others attentive and slightly off balance. These 7 mindset shifts aren't about manipulating others, they're about reclaiming the psychological power that introverts naturally possess but rarely use. Which of these mindset shifts resonated most with you? If this video helped you see your introversion in a new light, subscribe for more psychological insights that others miss.